Thank you, Chairwoman Baldwin and Ranking Member.
Thank you.
I want to talk to you today, Mr. Secretary, and thank you for being here,
Of course.
on something that's very near and dear to me and the state of Mississippi. On April the 19th, the Department of Education released its omnibus Title IX rule, which frankly flies in the face of the original intent for Title IX. I've been around a long time. I have followed this, and it is amazing what this new rule is doing. There are many troubling aspects of it, like its weakening of due process protections. You know, in your own comments, in your own words, as you sat here today, you said protecting students is #1 priority for you. Then you said the most important thing for me is student safety. So I'm glad to know that you've stated that for us today. Redefining the word sex to include gender identity and compelling speech is part of this. You're redefining the definition of sex. Does the rule require schools to share information with parents regarding their children's gender status?
As an educator, I can tell you that engaging with families and communicating with families regularly is an important part of the work.
But does it require the schools to share information with parents? Does this rule require schools to share the information with parents regarding their children's gender status? Does it require it?
Whether this rule does or not, parents and schools should be working together, and that is an expectation of educators, and that's what they've been doing. I have to tell you, the rule strengthens protections for students. It's about keeping students safe.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I only have 5 minutes, so I'm going to continue on. Do you investigate schools that socially transition children without notifying students' parents? Do you investigate those schools?
I do not investigate schools that do that.
So if they don't follow the rule, there's no consequences and there's no investigation?
If there's a Title IX investigation request, we look at the merits of the request.
So you do investigate schools that socially transition children without their parents' knowledge?
Depending on what the request is, I defer that to the investigators at OCR whether or not to take a case.
With the new rule redefining the word sex, what does your department have to say about how this rule will impact biological females? I'm thinking specifically about how it will allow transgender students to choose any bathroom, any locker room they wish, therefore eliminating the safe spaces for women and even pushing women out of athletics altogether. Do you agree that they're eliminating those safe spaces when they allow transgenders to choose the bathroom and the locker room that they want to go in?
I don't, and I'll tell you why. I've been an educator for about 25 years, and it's the role of educators to make sure that students have the safety and privacy that they need and that we take into account the perspectives of different students. You know, Senator, we cannot pick and choose which students we want to protect. All students deserve protection in our schools, and what this Title IX rule does is ensure that all students, including our LGBTQI students, are protected.
So when a biological male goes into the locker room with biological females, you think that that is a safe space for those young girls?
When girls walk into bathrooms, you may not be recognizing students who are transgender, but because you don't recognize them doesn't mean that I don't protect them.
But biological males going into a girl's locker room and a girl's bathroom, you have no problem with that whatsoever, and you consider them being safe in all circumstances?
Again, I think the line of questioning is trying to create division. What we're trying to do is protect all
We're
students.
not trying to create division. You just said protecting students is my #1 priority.
All students.
So do you feel like that those biological females are protected in that setting? To the best of your ability, you're protecting them?
The Title IX regulations that we have protect all students and give them access to the same opportunities that all other students have in our schools. As I said before, we can't pick and choose which students we want to protect. And for
I
far too
totally
long,
agree. All students need protecting. But there's a difference in boys and girls and where they change clothes and undress. Do you agree with that?
schools make rules on how to make sure students are safe and have privacy in our schools. We've been doing this, educators have been doing this, and the Title IX rules just reinforce the work that they have to do to also protect students who are LGBTQ who have, unfortunately, historically in our country, been under attack, and we need to protect those.
No one is attacking anyone right now. We are talking about school safety and girls' locker rooms and bathrooms. Nobody's trying to attack anyone. We want all students safe.
We do.
So you don't need to change the conversation that somebody's attacking someone. So your position is that they still have the safe spaces that they deserve when biological girls are undressing. That is your position.
It is my honor as an educator to protect students who have been marginalized in our community and because of that require additional mental health supports. These students, I'm not saying you're attacking them, I'm saying they're under attack in this country, and as Secretary of Education, it's my responsibility to protect all students, not just some.
In the same breath that you say safety is number one. Thank you, Madam Chairman.